All right. Well, welcome everybody. It is so wonderful to have you guys here on a Sunday. This is the first time we've ever done any sort of stream or webinar on a Sunday. So this is going to be very exciting. So what we're going to be doing a little bit today is we're going to be covering some TradingView charts. So you guys are going to need to have the tradingview.com already set up. If you guys aren't, take a couple minutes, get it signed up. Should be very, very simple. And you guys can get started. If you guys want the upgraded plan, I recommend getting the upgraded plan. If you guys, are thinking about using this in the future, I've had the pro plan for about 4 or 5 years now. It's like 12, 13 bucks a month. Also, Black Friday sale starts tomorrow, so you guys have a few days to mull that over. But this is one of the best trading platforms that I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, there's plenty of trading platforms out there and plenty of charting platforms that are also very, very good. But, with tradingview.com, you can track any market that you want. You can track stocks, you can track cryptocurrencies, you can track oil, anything you like. So, I like to mix it up and take a look in here, but it's really, really excellent. And they try to add as many exchanges as possible. So if you guys want to look at, KuCoin or Coinbase or Binance or, whatever, you'll be able to select the, broker that you want there. So Gavin, if we could pull up my screen here and just take a look at TradingView together, give everyone a few more minutes to roll in here, but make sure you guys are signed up for tradingview.com. We're going to go over how to set up these charts here. We're going to go over how to set up the watch list that I have set up here on the side, so you guys can kind of get sure to look like mine, or you guys can choose a organization method that's a little bit better for you. We're going to go over how to set up this chart aesthetically the way I have it here. We're going to go over this bar up here, how to create your own favorites bar so you can kind of access the tools that you like the most very, very easily. And then we're going to go over after that the Fibonaccis. So the Fibonaccis are going to be able to show you guys, where and when you can potentially enter and exit a market. It's going to be a little bit of a subjective learning curve for some of you guys if you're, brand new to charting, and that's perfectly fine. But we're going to go over that. And then at the end of that lesson, we're going to go ahead and take some questions. So we're going to take some questions on the Fibonaccis. We're going to take some questions that you guys maybe have something you missed from the beginning of the webinar regarding, how we set up a certain part of the chart. And then if you guys want, we can also go over a few coins that we haven't covered, something maybe it's sitting in your own portfolio we haven't covered, or a coin that you've had your eye on, and use the Fibonaccis that we're going to teach in this lesson to determine where some potential entries or exits on that coin are. And maybe just by looking at price action, maybe there's no entry. So we'll go over all of that, but let's get into taking a look at how to set up our charts on tradingview.com. So the first thing you're going to do is get into the charts itself. You're going to go ahead from the TradingView website, click on the little chart icon at the top. Your page looks something like this. Mine's full screen because I wanted to have as much screen up as possible. But we're going to go over kind of what that aesthetic looks like. So if we right click on the screen here, anywhere on the white portion of the screen right here, we can go to settings here on the bottom. And at the top here, we have these symbols. So all these little things here on the chart, these are candlesticks. This is just going to change the aesthetics of the way that your chart looks. I personally have crypto charge theme candles. These are specifically the colors that we use for our branding. I just really enjoy them a lot. So the first category is going to be the body. So that's going to be the main color that is inside of these candles. So the first one that we have selected on the left side here. So the left side is going to be your bullish candles, meaning that price is going upwards. So that's going to be the color you select for that. And then the right side is going to be the bearish candles. So the candles that are going to the downside. So because I have a lighter background here, obviously I want to have everything else be black so that it shows up nicely on the charts. So on the left side here for the body, this color blue is when you click the plus button here, do you see how there's a little hex number here? This is the exact color for the crypto charge blue if you guys want that. So if you guys can't see that too well, the number is 256 EFF. 256 EFF. So if you just punch that in there, you click add and you can change your color for the bullish candles. And then for the bearish candles, we've selected the yellow. So if we click the little add here, we can see that the color for the yellow is FCF 300. FCF 300. Click add, you can select that color. So those are the colors I've chosen. If you guys like the green and the red, just leave them alone. It's 100% personal preference. This will not change, the way that the charts work or the program works. I'm just showing you how to aesthetically set it up, the charts that way that I have them here. And then for the borders and the wicks, you want them to just be black, 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 the darkest that they possibly can be. So that will be for the borders and the wicks. Okay. So how do you get to settings? So too fast. So go ahead and right click anywhere on the screen, Jesse, and you will go ahead and get to the settings there. So right click, settings at the bottom. Okay. So here on the symbols, we have the colors, we got the bodies, borders, and wicks. All right. So that's all we're going to change on here, at least on the top here. The other thing that you want to have correct, just so that you're looking at the right time zone, is you're going to go down to the very bottom here where it says time zone. You're going to select, and you're going to select the time zone that's relevant to you. For me, I have a Los Angeles time zone. I know plenty of you guys are on the East Coast. I know some of our members are international. So make sure that you're selecting the correct time zone. So for me, that's going to be UTC -8 Los Angeles. So, just search for the city that is relevant to you guys for the time period. So that way, when you're looking at the charts and you're searching for dates and time periods, that it shows up with the correct time period. Otherwise, you're going to be confused because a candle might look like it closed at 4 p.m., but it really may be closed at 2 p.m. So setting the time zone is going to be correct so that you guys can have accurate and efficient charting. So this should be pretty simple here. Change these up here. The other thing we're going to do is on the left side here, we have symbols selected. We're going to select appearance. So for the background that I have here, we're going to click add, and this is the color that I have for the background. I know it looks white, but because these candles are yellow and blue, they look really harsh against the white, and I personally spend too much time in front of my charts every day, so I need something that's slightly off white to ease my eyes a little bit. So for the background, you want to have solid selected. That should be selected by default. But right here, you're going to select the color, and the color that I have selected is as follows: F9F, 1F1. I'm going to read that off again. The color that I have selected for my background is F9F, 1F1. And then you're going to click add. Last price line is different than the default. Okay, we can go over that, Lucas, no problem. So go ahead and change your background to this color if you like this. If you like the current white color, don't worry about that. Not a big deal. The next thing we're going to change on this appearance, don't worry guys, I'm going to come back to some of these questions you guys have. So for the vertical and horizontal grid lines, I don't like grid lines on my chart. If they're helpful to you and you like the way the grid lines look, leave them alone. If you don't want them, see this opacity here, this is probably going to be at 100%. You're going to slide it all the way down to 0, and that's going to take them away. And same with the horizontal lines. It's the opacity is going to be all the way up like this. You're going to bring it all the way down like this. Again, if you guys feel like the grid lines are helpful to you and you like the way the grid lines look on your charts, you guys can leave them there. This is all personal preference. It's not going to change, the way that your charts act or price action acts on your charts. For the text scales, I can't remember if these are default or not, but make sure you change these to black, scale lines straight to black. I'm a very simple person. The exciting colors that I have on this chart are the crypto chart colors. I personally like to keep my charts as clean and as scarce as possible so that I can kind of really analyze the charts without a whole bunch of noise on my charts. So I just really like them to look this way. I also changed the crosshair to 0. So the crosshair is like when you're moving around like this, the little lines there, they're black. Again, if you guys like a different color, if you want red, blue, orange, purple, it's completely up to you. This watermark is irrelevant. You guys can uncheck this, and that'll be fine there. So the rest of these options on here, the margins, I wouldn't mess with those. These are the default options. Shouldn't matter at all to you guys. For the scales, this is what I have selected here. So everything else is mostly unselected. I don't need that information. I have no overlapping labels selected here. That's super important because your charts will get very messy very quickly if you guys have overlapping labels. So on the scales setting on the left side here, make sure you have no overlapping labels selected. Make sure you have countdown to bar close. And what that does is, see right here on the right side where we have in black here, the scale where it says 2.616 trillion. Underneath it, it shows you how much time is left on that candle before it closes. So when we're on stream and we're talking about, all right, well, this candle is going to close in 42 minutes. We're not mathematical geniuses. It's because right on the right side there, if you have this selected, it will show you the amount of time left until that candle closes. So that's something very important to have. The currency is good to have selected, the plus button, and then the pre-post market label. This is not going to be relevant to cryptocurrency. So if you guys plan on charting stocks or Forex or, precious metals or other things on here, this might be relevant to you, but cryptocurrencies are open 24/7. So we're not going to have pre and post market levels. It's not going to be relevant. So whether you have this checked or unchecked is completely fine. And then the symbol last price label selected, I believe this is the default setting, but the section is going to be value according to scale. Okay. So pretty simple. For status lines, this is going to be right underneath symbol here. We're still in the same settings menu. Nothing's changed. The symbol, I want the ticker and the description. So if you see up here on the left side, see where it says total crypto market cap, 20-hour crypto cap. And we're going to go ahead and be able to see everything that's listed here. If I select just ticker, it's not going to show me the exchange, and it's not going to show me a whole bunch of information. 916 mortgage showed up late. Which dashboard trades platform is this? This is tradingview.com. So you guys can sign up for free. At least I think now I'm not sure if they changed the complete way that they do the free accounts. They used to put like a little ad in the corner here every 5 to 10 minutes that you would be on the charts for the free accounts, and they were free forever. I don't know if they're doing a trial now. But if you guys are serious about doing your trading, tradingview.com is the absolute best platform. I have been super satisfied with TradingView for almost 5 years now. I've been on the pro plan. I think it's like 12 or 14 bucks a month. I go ahead and jump on that annual discount because I know that I'm not going to decide one day that I don't want to chart anymore. There hasn't been a day in the last 5 years where I haven't looked at charts. So, it's definitely something that you guys should consider. So for the status line here, we want to have ticker and description just so you guys can see all that information displayed nicely above there, and everything else checked here. This should be checked by default. If it's not checked, go ahead and just click all these down here. Okay. So as far as everything else for the trading, I don't do any trading out of this platform itself. You guys can do paper trading in here, which means it's basically like a demo account, and you can, take some trades based off of what we offer so you guys can get some practice. I don't do any trading out of here. I just do my charting here. Once I've made my decisions, I go ahead and I go to the platform, KuCoin, Coinbase Pro, Uphold, and then I go place my limit, or I go place my trade based on what information I see there. If you're free, can you scroll down past the pricing? Yes, we also have a replay on the site. Are you talking about the pricing for tradingview.com? Lucas? If you guys if you guys were registered for the email, in that invitation, there's also a link for a discount for the annual and monthly memberships. So that should be pretty easy for you guys. So aesthetically, your chart should look more or less like mine now. Assuming that you've made some of these changes. Maybe some of you guys left the colors the same. Again, that's personal preference. There's not gonna change anything at all. So that should be perfectly fine. Peter, yes, this will be on the website afterwards. So no worries on that if you're not able to stay for the whole thing, or if you got something else to do today. No, Sunday is a family day for a lot of people. You guys got obligations. So that's perfectly fine. So the next thing I want to show you guys is on the right side here is how I set up my watch list. Okay. So again, the number of watch lists you guys have is going to be dependent on the plan you have. If you have the pro plan, you can make, I think, like 7 or 8 watch lists. I have, I think, 2 or 3 of them. I've got stocks on one of them that I just keep, just in case. But really, crypto USD is the main list that I have here. So you can rename it once you either create a new list up here, right? And you can name the list. So you can call it crypto, you can call it my watch list, you can call it whatever you want. I prefer to just have all of my crypto stuff in one watch list because I do a lot of checking on my mobile as well. And I just want one watch list that looks really clean with everything organized the way that I like it. So you guys can name it whatever you want. It's not relevant. If you don't name it, it's just gonna be called watch list. Again, not gonna change anything for you guys. You're gonna be able to organize your list this way. So the first 2 things that I have at the top of this watch list are not required for you guys. I'm a person who likes to look at confluence and additional markets. So I have Dow Jones Industrial and Dixie, DXY, which is dollar index, on my charts here. Not necessary to have on your charts by any means, but the first 3 things I would recommend that you guys put on your charts are the total market caps. What these particular markets will tell you is the total amount of money that's in crypto and what it's doing in relation to strength or weakness. So when you guys want to add something to your watch list, you're going to go up to the top here. Don't click over here where it says symbol search. You want to click over here on the plus button where it says add symbol over the watch list. You're going to click plus, and you're going to see a whole bunch of options here. There's a search bar at the top. So for the first thing you're going to add is total market cap, and the ticker for that is going to be total, TOTAL. Okay, it's going to be this first one right here. It says total crypto market cap calculated by tradingview.com. This is not a market you can trade. It is a calculation based on volume by tradingview.com. Okay, and this little X right here would generally be a plus If you had not added it, I've already added it. So just click plus here for the total market cap, and you guys will be able to add that to your watch list, okay? So that should be the first thing that comes on your watch list. That's the first thing I want you guys to look at every day, because it's going to tell you what's going on with the cryptocurrency market as a whole. It's not just going to tell you what's going on with Bitcoin or Ethereum or your favorite altcoins. It's going to tell you what's going on with the market as a whole. Okay. The next ticker I want you guys to add is the total market cap for altcoins. And what this means is this is going to calculate all the money that's in cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin. Okay. So it's going to be Ethereum plus all the altcoins you guys can think of. And it's going to calculate that for you. This is going to tell us what the market's doing if we take Bitcoin out of the picture, because we know that currently Bitcoin makes up between 38 and 42% of the market. So we want to see what the market's doing outside of that. So add total 2. So you're going to, again, click plus up here. You're going to type the words total and then the number 2. Okay. It's going to be right there. Boom. Total market cap excluding Bitcoin calculated by TradingView.com. You're going to click the little plus. Mine says X because I already have it. So you're going to click plus. Okay. You're going to add that to your list. The last one, for the total market caps that I want you guys to add, is going to be total 3. So total is going to be everything, including Bitcoin and every coin you can think of. Total 2 is going to be minus Ethereum. And total 3 is going to be minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin and Ethereum make up such a large portion of the market, right? So this is going to tell us only what the altcoins are doing outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So again, to just add that, we click plus, type the word total, and then the number 3. Oops. Right there. So it's going to tell you right here, total 3, crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is important because, a lot of my portfolio, actually 100% of my portfolio belongs to total 3. I don't hold any Bitcoin or Ethereum personally. I'm very focused on ROI and altcoins. So that is the market that is most important to me, but I do not exclude any of these other markets. I look at everything top down. So add those totals to the top of your list there. You can also change the color of these flags on the left side so you guys can organize. I personally organize things, at least on the top here, just based on what it represents to me. So these top 3 totals, these are total market caps and market indicators. So I've given them a teal tag. If you click the tag here, you can go over to the color that you want and select that color and change it. If I wanted to change it later on, make this red, I can make that red, okay? So you guys can pick a color scheme or a color convention that makes sense to you, but that's what I label these 3 as. Now, these other 3 charts, I don't think they're necessary for you guys. I would rather you guys focus on looking at the total market caps as far as kind of indicators of what the market is doing. But if you did want to add some dominance charts, and again, what dominance charts are they tell you the percentage of money that's in a particular asset. So for example, this one I have here that's kind of got this dark blue tag on the right side, Bitcoin dominance. The way that we pull this ticker up is I click plus here, just like everything else. I type BTC, which is the ticker for Bitcoin, dot, so put a period, and I put the letter D as in dog. And it's going to tell me market cap dominance by percentage calculated by TradingView.com. Again, not a tradable market. This is just telling you what percentage of the money is allocated to that asset. If you'd like this on your chart, go ahead and add it. I also have one for Ethereum and XRP. So, and some assets are supported. So like Cardano has one, ADA dominance. So you just put like Ethereum.D right there. If I want to do ADA.D, I could put, XLM. Let's see if there's one for XLM. XLM dominance right there. So you guys can customize dominance charts and pick a dominance chart just so you guys can track that. But again, if you're brand new to charting, it's really not necessary. I'd rather you guys just focus on getting these total market caps into your watch list. The tickers that I have in orange here, again, are also dominance charts, but they're dominance charts measured against each other. So I have Ethereum Bitcoin on here. I have XRP Bitcoin and XRP Ethereum here. Really, really not necessary if you're brand new. Really rather you guys focus on the total market caps and then also maybe some regular dominance charts before getting into some of these cross pairs, because it can kind of skew your analysis if you're brand new. FYI, free accounts won't let you change the color, but you can see the color. Okay, perfect. Yeah, they disable a lot of features with the free account. They definitely let you get a little taste of what the platform's about, but you're definitely going to have to kind of piper up with some of the money to, get the full experience. But there's a lot of cool stuff that you guys can do with the pro membership. Like you can do multiple layouts. Like I can split this chart into 4 charts. I can add a whole bunch of indicators. I can be looking at, multiple markets at one time. There's a lot of really cool stuff. What is the meaning of dominance? So it sounds like you just popped in, Twin. So dominance is telling us the total percentage of money that's allocated to one asset. So if we're looking at Bitcoin dominance here, it says 42.96 right here. So that means 42.96% of all the money that's in cryptocurrency is currently inside of Bitcoin right now. Okay, so that's all that dominance charts are. They're just going to give you an indicator of where we are kind of rotationally within the cycle. All right, so we're going to move on to some actual assets here, and I'm going to show you the way that I organize it. Again, you guys choose the way you want to organize it. You guys can have multiple watch lists. You guys can have a watch list for stuff that you're in and a watch list that somebody else is in. It's completely up to you guys, but here's how I do it. So I put Bitcoin and Ethereum here as pink symbols. And that's just because I have to track them every day. They're charts that everybody watches. They're charts that dominate and dictate a good portion of what's going to happen in the market. So I track them every day. I put them in pink because they're not trades that I'm actively in, but they're going to be assets that I have to watch to understand what's going on with the market. Just like with the total market caps, right? It's not tradable. Just because it's not in my portfolio doesn't mean I shouldn't pay attention to it. So put Bitcoin and Ethereum here. Again, if you guys want to add those ticker, you click add symbol here. Here's one thing you guys should notice about Bitcoin or any asset you add. So if I type Bitcoin USD, you're going to see there's a whole bunch of options here, right? What you need to pay attention to is the exchange that it's on. Personally, I don't care which exchange it's on because, you know, I just do my charting and then I go look to see what the order book looks like for that particular exchange, and then I go place my trade. But if you guys want to get it on the exchange that you currently have this on, you would go and select the exchange. So for example, I have Coinbase selected here for Bitcoin USD, but if I wanted to, I could have it for Bitstamp or Binance or Phemex or Gemini. So it's completely up to you guys how you guys want to do that. But this is how you add them. You just type in the symbol that you want to add and you click add. So I have Bitcoin and Ethereum in pink here. And this is really how I break down the rest of everything here. So everything you guys see in green is the trade or something that is currently inside my portfolio, okay? So everything that I have with a green flag, I am currently actively trading inside of my portfolio. So I've got XRP, EOS, DAG, Casper, Algorand, okay? So as you guys can see, I try to narrow down some of my assets here, right? I'm focusing on maybe like 10 or 12 assets here. It's not necessary to overly diversify your portfolio, okay? I mean, I know that we talk about a lot of projects on here. If you guys have a ton of extra capital and you want to kind of do that blanket approach and throw, you know, over certain aspects, like maybe you want to throw, you know, $5,000 in gaming and you want to just pick 10 gaming projects and kind of get that blanket approach, that's fine. But everything you see in green is something that I have some sort of significant position in. Okay. So, and that's just the way I like to do it. Keeps it nice and organized, lets me know what I have. Everything that I have in red here are assets that I track either for somebody else or for the website, or that I'm just keeping my eye on. So we've talked in previous episodes and streams about if we have a project and maybe it's gone parabolic, right? There's not like a good technical entry, which we're going to go over in the second half of this webinar. Add it to the list here, right? So AVIX, for example, Avalanche is a great project. I've got nothing fundamentally wrong with Avalanche, but from a return on investment standpoint, everything that I have in green up here makes much more financial sense to keep in my portfolio than some of the stuff that's in red over here, okay? So that's the reason I do that. You guys can choose a different color that makes sense to you. Not a problem at all. Would you mind sharing a snapshot of your watch list? I'll do you guys one better. I can actually copy this entire watch list right here. I'm gonna pop this in the chat. Will this work, Gav? If I pop this in here, will everyone see this? Yeah, they will. Okay, cool. So you guys can take this link that I just popped up right here. All right. Take this link and you guys can see my entire watch list. There are some stocks in there most likely. I think it grabbed my entire watch list. I'm not in any of those stocks, by the way. That's just a watch list for stocks. So don't jump into any of those. There's lots of stuff that's parabolic in there. I'm watching for when the Dow Jones and everything takes a huge crash so that I can diversify maybe 10% of my portfolio into stocks after we take some profits on crypto. So go ahead and grab that link if you guys want to see what I've got in my portfolio. I don't know if it'll carry over all these flags and everything. I've never used that option before, but go ahead and take a look at that. As far as what's on the bottom of my watch list here, before we move on to some other cool stuff inside this platform, these three that I have in purple here are just gaming tokens. No particular reason they're in purple. You guys could have done this in red. That's fine too. And then the last thing that I look at once in a while, and this is kind of like dominance charts or those cross dominance charts. It's not necessarily a beginner thing you need to be tracking every single day, but I just want to share with you guys what my watch list actually looks like so you guys can see what I do. Hey, thanks 916 Morgan. Appreciate you guys. I have short positions. So again, if you guys are long on the market, that means that you're betting that the market's going to go up. But many exchanges offer derivative products where you can place your bets in the opposite direction. So you can say that you think an asset is going to go down. So what this does is it tracks on specifically the exchange Bitfinex. So this doesn't speak for every exchange, but it speaks for one of the largest exchanges that offers some of these short derivative products. And it tells me how many people are opening short positions for that particular asset. So I have Bitcoin USD shorts, Ethereum USD shorts, and XRP USD shorts. You can read these just like a regular chart. You can look at them in relation to support and resistance. You can look at them in relations to trends. I don't look at these every day. I look at these maybe once a week at the end of the week just to kind of see how positions are changing. But funding rates are going to tell us a better idea of that. But they are on my charts just so you guys know. So the watch list, that's pretty much it. This is a really, really simple way to set it up. If you guys set up your watch list and you guys organize it nicely, you're going to be a lot more incentivized to come in and look at your charts, check your charts, do a little bit of chart work, either first thing in the morning before you go to work or after you guys get home from work. I know that you guys have things you got to do during the day and you can't be glued to your charts all day, and that's fine. So that's how the watch list is going to look. I'm going to tuck away this watch list up here. The next thing I want to show you guys in this platform is this toolbar right here. And you guys probably don't see this because you guys haven't added any of your own favorite tools yet. So the entire toolbar is here on the left side, and there is a ton of ridiculously cool tools. We're not going to go over every tool today. We want to kind of split this up and go through different things in different webinars so that we can, get you guys this information in, digestible pieces. I know that if you're brand new to charting, this can be a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to show you how to create this little movable tab up here. So all these tools here are on the left side. So when you click on one of these tools, there's going to be a drop down. You're going to have other tools that are available. If you guys really like using a tool like a trend line, for example, you'd be able to click this star and it will add it to your favorites tab. So that's what this is up here. This is your favorites tab. So instead of having to go through and click through this sidebar every time you want to get to a tool that you use all the time, you can go ahead and star it right here. Some tools do have like short commands, like Alt-T will produce a trend line. I personally just like having my toolbar up here. It's the way I've done it for several years now. It just works well for me. I probably should learn the shorthands. I just prefer to click. I prefer to use my mouse as much as possible. It's just personal preference. So what I do have on my, we're just going to go down the list here and I'm just going to show you everything that's up there. I'm not going to show you how to use every single tool because the purpose of today's lesson is to show you guys how to use Fibonacci specifically, but I'm going to show you all the tools that I have up there just so you guys can emulate it if you like. So the first one is the cross. So this little pointer I have here, this little crosshair, that's what the cross is. If you'd prefer a dot, you can have a dot. You can even have an arrow if you prefer, but I just like the crosshair because you can see the price on the right side. I'm going to go back to a chart that doesn't look so wonky. Let's go to Bitcoin. So that's what the crosshair is. So I have that selected so that if I have something else selected, like a brush tool or something else, I can quickly click to the cross up here and get back to what I need to. The next one, this is going to be the second symbol down. I have 3 selected in here. So the first one's going to be a trend line. Okay, so just knock that little star. Not a problem. You're going to knock the arrow. And the last one's going to be the horizontal ray. You guys can use the horizontal line if you prefer. That just means that the line will go in either direction infinitely. I just use the horizontal ray. Again, just personal preference, no real reason for it, just creature of habit. It's what I do. So these are the 3 that I have marked on there. Cool. Next one down. Some of these symbols might not look the same because it's going to be the most recently selected symbol. So I'm just going to count down from the top. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're 3rd symbol down. The only one I have on here is the Fibonacci retracement. If you guys didn't favorite any other tool, favorite this tool because this is what we're going to go over today. This is my favorite tool to use to determine entries and exits. Dan's favorite tool to use entries and exits, and conjunction obviously understanding market structures and momentum indicators and stuff like that. So go ahead and mark this as your favorites here. I have a ton of brush tools selected because this is how I kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. I don't use some of these tools as often as I used to, but the 3 that I use every single day on stream showing you guys stuff is the first one's gonna be this brush tool. I've got the highlighter. I've got the rectangle. And then the other two that I have selected, but I just don't use as much because they just take a little more time to draw accurately, is the ellipses, which basically just creates like an expandable circle so you could highlight a certain area, and a rotated rectangle. And this one's a pretty obscure one. Basically, you can like draw a rectangle over a piece of price action at an angle instead of just straight up or down or this way. So the three that I really recommend you guys grab are the brush, the highlighter, and the rectangle. Okay. So we're going to move on down below here. I don't think you guys need this. I have a call out option here. What this tool does is when you click on it, you can point to something and then you can type and say top, right? So you can like have little labels for yourself on price action. This is really more of a teaching tool that I use to show you guys what I'm doing. It's not super necessary. And then you guys don't need these tools. These are Elliott wave tools. These are definitely not for beginners. Elliott waves take some time to practice. I'm personally not an Elliott wave master. I understand 5-wave structures. I understand ABC corrections very, very well. But I'm not doing 13 wave counts, 23 wave counts. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So Elliott waves are really not necessary for you guys. So that's really the meat and potatoes of what you guys need up here. So you guys can move this anywhere you like. If it's covering something you need up here, it's not a big deal. You guys can just move it to where it's convenient for you. Okay. The only other tool that I really want to show you guys that's really simple is the measurement tool. So right here on the left side, this is a fixed tool here. It says measure. So it says shift plus click on the chart. I don't do that. Again, I just use my mouse. So I click the measurement tool and I can measure a multitude of things. So I can measure price going up and down, or I can measure time going left and right, or both. So if I wanted to measure, for example, from the bottom of this move all the way to the top of this move, and I want to know how much did price move and how long did this take, I would click at the bottom here, and I'd click all the way, and I'd click again, and it tells me right here that this move was 74%. Price rose $29,442. And this took 50 days and 19 hours to complete. And we can also see the volume here as well. So the measurement tool is going to be one of your best friends, especially when you're trying to determine how much percentage upside is left here, how much percentage downside could potentially be on the table here. Okay. So break out this measurement tool, try it out. It's a lot of fun. You guys can, really start to kind of toy with, some of the outcomes that we look at. So when we're on stream and we're saying, oh, this could go 400%. Again, we're not mathematical geniuses. We just use the tools at our disposal to easily determine how much time or how much price is appreciated or depreciated in a certain period of time. Okay. So that's really, I think, all you guys need to know for the very basics of this platform here. And we can go ahead and get into Fibonacci retracement. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a fresh chart here. So I'm going to grab a Bitcoin chart on a different exchange just so I can show you guys what this looks like. If you guys are just setting up your charts, you don't have to worry about this because your charts are already blank. So what Fibonacci's are basically is mathematical equations to tell you what percentage something has pulled back from. So let's say we move 50 points in one direction. It's going to tell us the different areas where price has a likelihood of returning to. And those are areas, and I'm going to show you which areas that I like to look to the most, are going to tell you areas where you can enter. And it's also going to show you where you could potentially exit. Randy, are you using a 20-hour chart? Can we use the 1 day? Yes, I'm so sorry. Let me actually show you guys how to do that. That is super critical that you guys know how to use your time periods. So at the top here, see where it says BTUSD as the symbol? And we look to the right here, it says 20 hours, drop down. Okay, so don't worry if you don't see everything that I have here on my chart. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to scroll to the dead bottom of this. And you see at the bottom here where it says 1 minute and then add, you can add a custom time frame. So let's say you want to look at a 7-minute chart. You could add that custom time frame. So if you want a 20-hour chart, I would backspace, I would type the number 20. And then where the minutes here, this is a drop down. So I can choose months, weeks, days, hours, or minutes. So I'd want a 20-hour chart. Oh, okay. This is only for the paid memberships. Okay, cool. So if you guys do have a paid one, go ahead and you can add custom time frames. I recommend that if you guys do jump to it, try out some different time frames. I love 20-hour charts, 12-hour charts. These are just charts that I found really helpful, but the daily chart's fine. So we'll do the example on the daily chart because I know not everybody is on the upgraded memberships right now. So when we draw a Fibonacci retracement, it's super, super simple, okay? So we're gonna grab basically the top of a time period to the bottom of a time period. But I'm gonna show you guys how a Fibonacci is set up, because the way that the defaults are set up, especially if you guys have changed the colors of your candles, to me personally, it's too much color, too overwhelming. So what I want you guys to do is on the left side here, you're gonna grab your Fibonacci tool, not the trend-based Fib extension, okay? Completely different tool. The Fibonacci retracement tool, okay? And I don't care where you guys drop it here, just click once and then just click again anywhere on the screen, okay? I don't care how you guys draw it. There's not a correct way to draw this. I'm just gonna show you how to set it up because we need to change some of the settings in this Fibonacci extensions. So you're gonna click the Fibonacci, you can click on any line here, any line on the Fibonacci, and then you're gonna click this little gear cog, okay? So when we go to the gear cog, it's gonna say coordinates off the bat, we're gonna click style. All right. So this is really, really important. I need you guys to pay attention to this part more than anything else that we've discussed so far, because if you guys don't set up your Fibonacci's like this with these exact numbers, it's not going to make sense. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to change all these colors. So I don't know why it's selected purple. I must have been doing something different here, but we're going to, at the bottom where it says use one color, it's most likely going to have like a split color down here on this tab for you guys. So click use one color and let's change it to black. Okay. Let's change them all to black. And then for background, if this is all the way up, if this is selected at all, swipe it down. If you guys can't move it, you're good. Okay. The other thing that we're going to look at here is we're going to look at the actual numbers that are on this chart here. So I need you guys to have your chart set up exactly like this. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in just so you guys can see a little more closely here what I'm talking about. So the first numbers that we have selected here, it doesn't matter if in this order, but you do need to have these numbers on your chart. So you need to have 0.2. So 0.2 is the first one. 0.382. Some of these will be auto defaulted, but I need you guys to make sure you guys have these numbers correct. 0.618. You don't have to have one, but because you guys are learning, I'd like it if you guys had one on your charts. Next to the one, let's change that color to red, okay? And I'm going to explain why, because I want you guys to see what you're doing. So you're going to put the color to red for one. If you guys have a different color you want, you'll make them blue, purple, whatever, but just make sure the rest of these are black. The others that I want you guys to have selected is 2.618, 4.236, 0.5, 0.786, 0.702. This is 100% not going to be on your guys' Fibonacci's by default. So if you guys don't have it on there, just click on any of these and you type 702, okay? So if you guys don't have 702 on your charts, add 702. It's going to be super important. The 3.618 is important. The 1.272, the 1.618, and the 2, okay? I'm going to leave this here for a quick second so you guys can compare and make sure that you guys have all of these numbers correctly on your charts. I feel like we should add 0 here as well. Let's add 0. And we're going to make this one red as well. So 1 and 0, make those red. So I'll give you guys just another quick minute here to take a look and make sure you guys have all these numbers correct, because if you guys don't have your charts set up like this, it's not going to make sense. You guys are going to be missing information. You're going to be missing potential targets, and you're going to be missing a potential entry if you do not add that 702, okay? The other thing is where it says extend lines right, you want to have that because you want them to infinitely extend to the right. Price action is not always going to stay right where it is. It's obviously going to move right, so you guys want to make sure that it's all the way to the right, okay? So that's pretty much it. On the bottom here, the only things I have selected, I would assume these are selected by default, is prices, because you want to have the price selected and the levels selected to values, not percentages. I can't add a decimal. Okay, you got it. Cool. Awesome, Lucas. And then I have the labels on right and top. So that means right here, they're on the right side and they're on top of the line. So if you guys wanted to change that, I'm just going to go back to the settings here so you guys can see. If you guys wanted it in a different spot, you can change them to the middle, to the bottom. You can even put them on the left side. It's up to you. I personally just find it better to put them on the right and the top. Uncheck the trend line. Yep, correct. I have you guys unchecking the trend line. Hey, can't believe you watched the Learning Center. Super proud of you, Josh. So with the trend line here, turn the opacity down to 0. All right. If you guys love the trend line, great. It's not necessary though if you mark 0 and 1 with reds, because you'll be able to see where the top of the range is and the bottom of the range is. So take this trend line, knock it all the way down to 0. So the opacity is going to be at 100%, knock it all the way down to 0. Okay. For the level lines, what I did is the default is thin like this. It's too thin. I don't like that. I want to see them a little thicker. So I go with the second level of thickness, okay? I didn't catch those numbers. Okay. They're right here, Andy. I wonder if I can take a screenshot for the chat. Let's see. Let's see if this is possible. I want to say that I'm not going to be able to post this image in here. Not going to be able to, sorry. So this is the way they're set up. If you guys didn't have all of these numbers in here and you guys need some extra time to go grab them, head to the Learning Center. There is a Fibonacci lesson on this, but I wanted to show you guys kind of how this works in real life here, okay? So now that we have the Fibonacci set up, you grabbed a screenshot. Awesome. Great. So here's the way a Fibonacci works. Can we edit it? Yes, you can edit a Fibonacci tool once it's already been edited. You guys can change the colors. You can change anything you want. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to select a period. So we're going to look at the direction of the trend. The first thing we need to do is identify which way is the trend going. So in this situation, obviously from a long-term perspective on this daily chart, the overall trend is up. You could show your 5-year-old niece or nephew this, ask them which way is this chart going, and they're going to tell you up. And you should look at it that way too. Don't try to analyze all the tiny little things going on. We're talking about macro charts here. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our Fibonacci tool. And we're going to select from a high of a period to the low of a period. So because we have this chart all zoomed out and all, macroed out like this, we're going to select from the top of this May on Bitcoin. So we're going to go to the top of the wick. See where the wick is right here? I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The top of this wick right here, we're going to select from here. And we're going to go all the way to the low that was set in June, all the way to the bottom of this wick here. So I'm going to show you guys how that looks, okay? Select, and I'm going to drag down, and then once I get to the bottom, I'm going to click again, okay? And look at that. It produced all these Fibonacci's for me right off the bat. I didn't have to input any numbers. I didn't have to do any math. It just calculated those numbers automatically based off of the range. So again, I clicked once at the top to start the Fibonacci. I didn't click anything. I just pulled my cursor down and then I clicked again at the very bottom of this range. Now, do you guys see why we selected the two different colors for the 1 and the 0? So you can see where the top of the range is that you selected and the bottom of the range is. So this is why we do that. The other thing, if you guys, your chart is not looking like mine, right here at the bottom, select log. And the reason you're going to select log is, I'll show you what happens if I unclick log. It's going to show price in a linear order. So it's just going to show it like every $4,000 or whatever based on, how far you have it stretched out. When you put it on log, what that does is it compresses price and it shows you where price is more concentrated in certain areas. So have it on log. Every time I do charts on stream for you guys, I have never, ever in the last 3 years taken my charts off of log. No matter what market I'm in, whether it's in foreign exchange, stocks, crypto, always I have left it on log. If you guys don't like it and you guys are excellent charters, go ahead and leave the log off. The other thing that might be selected for you guys is auto. I'm pretty sure when you select log, it turns off auto. But if you like auto, what that's going to do is it's going to automatically make the chart bigger or smaller. I have it off because I like to manually move around my chart. So again, that's up to you guys. When you're expanding or shrinking your charts, if you want to make this price axis bigger or smaller, I just click and drag like this, or I drag the other way to make it more small. And on the same one with the date range, I can grab this axis and make this bigger or smaller, okay? So just wanted to make sure you guys had your charts looking like mine before we got into why these Fibonacci's matter and where everything comes into play here. So when we measure from a top to a bottom of a period, like we did here, we measured from $65,000, give or take, all the way down to $28,000, $29,000. So what that's telling us is that price could have any of these periods retraced to any of these potential levels. So when we see these decimals here, 0.786, 0.702, 0.618, 0.5, what does this really mean? Well, think back to pre-algebra, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to move the decimal in your head. So what is 0.5 expressed as a percentage? It's 50%. What is 0.382 expressed as a percentage? It's 38.2, right? We move the decimal over, 38.2. What is 0.2 expressed as a percentage? 20%. Okay. So when we look at where a price could retrace to, we're looking at percentages of retracement. That's a cool tip. I'm glad you like that, Twin Turbo. We're looking at percentages of retracement, and there's certain percentages that are likely with if the trend is intact, right? So we're looking at an uptrend and we're looking for this trend to continue. So we're looking for where that correction might end and where price could retrace to. So when we look at these top areas right here, like the 618 through the 702 region right here, these are super, super critical reversal zones. You can really use any of these Fibonacci's as a potential entry point. But when we're looking at a strong uptrend that's very well intact, what's going to happen generally is that you'll see price march up on top of the Fibonacci retracements until the retracement is done, and then that's completely been cleared out. So we can see here that when price capitulated from this high here, even when it came down and it retraced, it rejected from different levels on the retracements all the way down. And then when we marched our way up, we came back and retested this 38.2%. Even after we came up here, what happened again? When we crashed back down, we crashed just below this 382 retracement before moving higher. And then when we moved up here, now we're consolidating between the 702 and the 786 before moving significantly higher. Okay. So when we look at the retracement levels, they're going to just be potential indicators of where price might reverse. When price reverses deeper than 50%, so when it comes below the 618 and this 50%, we can kind of expect potentially more bearishness in the short term. So I wouldn't completely change my bias on an asset until this lowest Fibonacci retracement has been broken, this 20%, because that's basically saying that the trend is over. We've retraced 80% of the trend, and that's really not a very bullish sign. So we'd obviously like to see price reverse from anywhere from 50% to 786%. So how could you use this for an entry, right? So, you can use this on a macro level, but I can also use this on a more micro level. So I'm going to take this Fibonacci off the chart here, and we're going to draw it from a smaller time period. So let's say we wanted to just analyze this leg right here, right? So this leg right here. Let's say we just wanted to analyze this piece of price action. I would take my Fibonacci from the top, the high of this period, and I would drag it all the way to the low of this period. So what does this tell us? It's going to tell us that price has, from its high, now from this almost $69,000 high on Bitcoin, has retraced and dipped almost as low as the 50%, but now we're returning up to this 618% right here, right? So it's likely that Bitcoin is going to reverse somewhere between $54,000 at the 50% Fibonacci and the 702 Fibonacci at $60,000, right? On the contrary, if we keep getting sent down below these Fibonacci's and price continues to march down in the opposite direction, right, and we retest the opposite way, we can say that the trend is going to change against us, right? So what we're looking for is for these Fibonacci's to pull back, but also to show strength and march their way up through the Fibonacci's up to higher targets, okay? So this is the main reason we use Fibonacci. So if I were to place an order, I would most likely place my order probably somewhere around the 50% or the 618% Fibonacci. If I had done that on Bitcoin, and if I had drawn from the top, from the high, all the way to the low, I would have, even before price got here, price would have told me that the 618 is at $57,683. And I would have been able to place a limit order there. So retracements are great for entries, but the other great thing is the way that we've set up these Fibonacci's is they also produce extensions. So we just talked about how these are percentages of retracements, right? So 78.6% retracement, but what about these upper targets, right? We talk about 1.272. What does that express as a percentage? That's 127.2% of the move. So we're taking the measured move that we did, which again was from the top of this red line to the bottom of this red line. And we're saying, well, what if price went 27.2% higher than its current high? What would that number be? And that is right here is $76,931. Now, obviously, we don't think that Bitcoin is going to $100,000. There's other things to take into account when we're drawing Fibonacci's. You can't just draw a Fibonacci from any time period and then look at the target and say, oh, well, price is going up. We have to look at how far has price already gone, which assets are currently in rotation. What does the macro cycle tell us? So like when we zoom out to like a weekly chart, how far have we already extended? How does fractal compare to previous fractals? So there's a lot of things to consider. This 1.272 target just from here is kind of right around where we expect a top to come in on Bitcoin. So you can use these in a variety of different ways to identify potential entries and exits. So again, for entries, I would recommend, if we were using this example, anywhere from the 50% to the 702 for entries. If you wanted to do a layer in, what you would do is you would break up your order between these three right here. So I'd look at this 702 through this 50%. So I'd look at these prices, right? So I'd have three different potential entries. So 60,200, 57,700, and 54,200. So if I wanted to, and I wanted to kind of average into this move because I think it's going to correct into these areas, what I would do is I'd place 1/3 of my order at 60,200 just to make sure I get filled, because I think that's a likely place it would hit. I place another third of my order at 57,600, and I place another place of my order at the 50% Fibonacci around 54,200. And what this does is it brings down your average. So we know that we're not going to pinpoint nail every single bottom. All right. That's not what we teach here. We're not looking to nail every bottom. We want to obviously maximize our dollars and find as many good entries as we can. We don't want to be buying things that look like this, right? We don't want to be buying assets that are doing this. This is not the entry right here, but this is the entry right here. Okay. So when prices pull back, when we see that price is showing some exhaustion and some rejection at the top of a structure, we can draw the Fibonacci, and it's going to tell us some areas where price is likely to retrace to. And same with the extensions. Okay. They're going to tell us where price could potentially go. So we can do some more examples of this, and we can do this on maybe some assets that we haven't covered. So if you guys have an asset that you want to take a look at and maybe do a Fibonacci on to see maybe where a potential entry is, or if you're already in this asset, we can look to see where some potential exits are. But let's go ahead and pull up another chart while we wait for some potential suggestions here. So let's pull up an asset that maybe is kind of already parabolic. Spell. All right. Sounds good, Zach. Let's do Spell. So I'm not going to put this on my watch list, but I'm just going to put it up here in the ticker. So we're going to pull up Spell. Let's see. Spell UST. FTX is a pretty good brokerage. So let's do FTX. Cool. So we're going to break this down to a smaller time frame because this daily chart is really limited. So we have October 14th, October 12th. It looks brand new. Let's look to see if another exchange has any more price history just to make sure. OKX. Okay, OKX shows this launching from much lower levels. Render, Sand. All right, cool. All right, we're going to do it on this exchange right here. We're going to ignore this over here. We're not going to consider this as the swing low. But here's what I'm going to show you, my man. Once you guys set up your Fibonaccis, it's so easy. We're going to select the Fibonacci retracement tool. We're going to go from the swing high to the swing low. So it tells us right now that price is what? Right below the 20% Fibonacci. First of all, I'm glad you brought this one up because this is a great example of something I would actually buy myself. Even though it's new and doesn't have a ton of price action, I like that it's low like this. I like that it had a big run up and now we're retracing and you're not asking me about an asset that's already, all the way up here and asking you where you can get in, because this is actually a much better entry. So the entry looks like it's just under 2 cents. So it's like 1.8 cents. It's like the current price. And then what does that exits put us out to? So the highest Fibonacci extension we have up here is the 4.236. Okay, this is the highest that we have on most assets. And if you don't believe me that assets will hit 4.236 and then reject, look at the Dow Jones, look at the S&P 500, look at any other assets that's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years basically, and they will still respect these 4.236 extensions with great tenacity. So I think the absolute top, just based off of this previous Fibonacci retracement, could be somewhere between, you should really consider taking some profits at some of these lower levels. So when we talk about the exits and the different, some of them have a lot of exits and some of them don't have that many exits in the technical analysis section. It's because we're drawing these out. So like I'm telling you guys to take some profits here, some here, some here, some here, some here. It's laddering out, right? Like you don't want to hold your whole bag to 4.236 and be like, oh, I sure hope it gets there. And then, watch 300% profits, knock their way down because, Zach, if you got in right now and then price came all the way up to this 4.236, that's a 483% gain. That's a fantastic trade. But let's say price even gets out to here, to this 2.618. Like you should be happy taking some profits around 300%. Okay. Don't get greedy, guys, because although assets will most likely reach 4.236 extensions, especially ones that have a lot of good fundamentals. I don't have any fundamentals on this project. I don't know what Spell is, but I'm just doing technical analysis on it. You should take profits on the way up to secure the bag and at least pay yourself back. Cool. Let's go down the list here. We've got render. Yesterday we did do render, but we'll go ahead and pull it up for you guys. I think I already have one on there. Boom. I actually do have the Fibonacci for render already. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why we don't buy assets that are parabolic. I'm not saying it's a bad project. I love render because I think that Brian did such a beautiful job explaining where the utility is going to come from. Assets can extend well beyond their 4.236 or create another 4.236 on top of it. But you have to remember that it's likely that price is going to reject violently and see a very, very big correction from the 4.236. So all I did here was I grabbed render from the swing low, the swing high. Actually, let's go ahead and do it for you guys here. So swing high right up here, swing low right here. Okay. So you can see here that price nailed the 3.618 already at $8.66. And the 4.236 is right around $10. So I think render is about to make a local top very soon here. We already saw rejection from here. So there's like, you know, if you were to buy this asset current market value, there's like a 32% gain left potentially to the 4.236. But just pay attention that from this run, we've already gone up almost 900%. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. XYO. XYO. All right. They got it on KuCoin. Okay. Nice. Cool. So we're going to grab the swing high. We're going to grab the swing low. Okay. And price is pulling back on top of its all-time high. So this is actually a good retest. So we can see what happened here. This is actually a pretty good example. Thank you very much for bringing this one up, Lucas. This is a great example of how you could use the Fibonacci in a more slightly more matured market. So see how price rocketed up, created a new all-time high. And look where that retrace came down to. Look where price reversed. That's 618 right there. Okay. It's mathematically engineered, you guys. Like Fibonacci's are not just in trading. It's in nature. Like when you look at succulents and you see the spirals that are made inside of succulents, that's Fibonacci spirals. Everything in nature repeats. You know, I'm a big believer in Pythagoras, you know, number rules the universe. Everything is numbers. So we can see that price pulled all the way down. We fired back up. We've pulled all the way back up to this next extension here. And now we're pulling back, you know, into this region here. I wouldn't say it's likely that I wouldn't say it's unlikely for us to pull back into the 786 or the 702 anywhere from 4 to 5 cents before moving higher. And then those targets at that 4.236, consider taking profits on the way up, my man. Don't wait it out. But the top looks around 15 to 18 cents. Okay. Sand. Okay. We did do sand already, but we'll go ahead and pull that up because that was on a stream a while ago. I've got sand right here. So sand has actually already reached its 4.236 extension. Do you guys see how this works? Like it's programmed. Fibonacci's are programmed. So price extended, we fired all the way up. Let me actually bring the swing high, swing low so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Swing high, swing low. We can see that price already wrecked the 4.236 here. If I were to bring this to this swing high right here, we can see that it rejected from the 4.236. If I bring it to this swing high, it got wrecked. So I'm not saying that sand can't do another 4.236 extension, but even if I grab from this swing high to this swing low, we're rejecting perfectly from this 4.236. And if I take it from here, we've broken it and we're about to come back and retest this $3.32 zone. Okay. All right, Josh, let's do EGLD. And it's on Binance US. Let's go with Binance US. Okay. Wow, this is a clean uptrend. I think I did some TA on this for one of our members already. Wow, this is freaking nuts. Guys, please don't buy this market unless you're already in because this is, let me show you how much this is up already. This is up 7,000%. All right, be careful. So I'm not going to take it from this swing high to this swing low. I'm going to take it from this swing high right here to this swing low. And look at that. My God, I love Fibonacci's, you guys. Please, please take some time to do some Fibonacci's. So we took it from this swing high to this swing low. We can see that we're rejecting from the 2, so the 200% Fibonacci at $438. This particular Fibonacci suggests that EGLD could get out to the $700 to $800 region. And if we take it from this swing high, it suggests maybe $1,000. But I would really, really be careful. I'd consider taking some profits. I mean, now-ish along the way up, but yeah, 4.236 is between $600 and $700. Okay. Let's do Ethereum Classic, ETC. We're going to go on Binance. All right. So let's take it from this swing high from May We're going to go down to this swing low right here. See these wicks right here? So again, guys, this red at the top here is the swing high. The red is the swing low. Actually, I'm going to make the swing low a different color just so you guys can tell what the swing low is. Let's make it like, like magenta. No, that'll be too close. Let's do blue. Okay. So what does this tell us? It tells us that we're below the 20% Fibonacci, which in my book is awesome. I love assets that are consolidating low below their retracement levels. We can see that we've been trapped below this level. We barely broke above for like almost 170 days now. That's probably going to pop. So Ethereum Classic could top out, anywhere between, $500 and $700 if we're using this swing high, swing low. But we do need to consider that price did already extend exponentially, so maybe we could, knock it back and bring the low somewhere over here, $600 or $700. So, Ethereum Classic could really explode, but it did have a really nice run up early this year. So percentage gain, that would be like more than 12x. So be careful. Make sure when you guys are looking at assets, see how much it's already risen, right? Like this already rose 4,200% from November of 2020 to current. So be careful with assets like this. Okay. Jasmy. All right. I think this is another parabolic one. Jasmy Tether. Let's do it on Coinbase. I think it just got listed on Coinbase. Oh, yep. I already did a Fibonacci for somebody. All right, but let's do it here for you guys. So we had this low here, but let's take it from this swing high, this swing low. And it tells us that Jamsy could get out to $1 if things keep going well. We're obviously below the 20% Fibonacci if we're using this right here, but if I wanted to use previous price action, so let's come down to like a 6-hour chart. And let's say I use the original swing high to swing low. It shows that we already exceeded this, right? Okay. So it shows that 25%, 25 cents was already the 4.236. If we use this swing high to this swing low, it shows us that we nailed it already and pushed some wicks above. So be careful, okay? Gather Network. Gather's on fire, my man. Super glad that we got Reggie on the show. I think I have Gather actually over here under the red. I actually don't know why this is in green. I do actually have some Gather. I lied. I don't have a ton of Gather, but I have some Gather. So we'll take all this off for you guys here. All right, I'm just going to draw a new swing high, swing low. So let's go back out to a 20-hour chart. So when assets are in this position, this is a much more advantageous position because we're well below our retracement levels. So if we take it from the swing high to the swing low, it shows us that we're just right now reclaiming the 20% Fibonacci, and that Gather could get out to like almost $4, right? That's like a 15x gain. But if we even take it from, a more conservative high, so like somewhere right around where this meaty area is over here, we can see that Gather could still go out to like $1.70, and we're like kind of somewhere between the 382 and the 50%. So it's good to draw more than one Fibonacci, by the way, guys. Like you don't have to just draw one and be like, all right, that's it. Like try different points, like, try a different swing high, see what makes sense, and see where price is respecting it, right? If it doesn't look like price is aligning, you probably need to try a different range before, you say that this is the right Fibonacci. That's what I do. Like when I look at these assets and pick the entries for you guys, I don't just draw one Fibonacci and go, okay, that's it. You need to look at, a couple different periods and see what those look like. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got PYR, USD. All right. It's on KuCoin. Here we go. Oof. All right. You gave me another parabola, man. We could take it from this swing high to this swing low, and that tells us right here that we already nailed the 4.236 Fibonacci. Be careful with this one, man. That looks like it's maybe time to take some profits. Glitch, outside of TA, great project. Check out. Will do, Zach. Thank you. Glitch. Let's pull this up. DLCH on KuCoin as well. Man, you guys are chasing some parabolas. Swing high, swing low. We've got a little more gas in this. So 4.236 coming up right around here, around $4. We got rejected from the 2.618 very nicely here. I'd say this is a good Fibonacci range because this is telling us a lot. See how price rejects in different areas here. See how it found support at this 1.618. Yep. All right. I think Glitch is getting ready to make a local top. A lot of these are not on Coinbase. Sorry, new to crypto. Where are you guys trading these? A lot of these are on KuCoin, man. So when I bring these up and I'm showing you the exchange, take a look at the exchange. See where it says right here, KuCoin? So when you search a coin, it'll show you the exchanges that it's on. We have a tutorial on how to use KuCoin. When drawing the fib, how far back do you go? It really just depends, man. Like I was just showing you, in this situation on a newer coin, I'm always going to take initially the initial swing high to the first swing low. So that means from the high to the low of the period, and see if it makes sense. I'm going to look at it and see if it makes sense. If I have a more matured market like Bitcoin or Ethereum, I have a lot more play in that, right? I have other periods that I can reference, and I can see how those Fibonaccis are making sense within that period. All right. Yes, Kyle, 100%. Thank you for answering that question. I like the 80-20 rule. Awesome. Voyager. All right, let's do power. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is something we want to add as a VIP section eventually, by the way. So it'll be an add-on, but we'll be doing kind of like an intimate Q&A session and doing some like labs and some stuff like that. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. And if it is, let us know so that we can kind of craft this and make sure that we're making time for it and, you know, working more heavily on that VIP section. So, all right, guys, so swing high, swing low. Doesn't look super great. We are well below the 20%, but we did find a bounce here at the bottom. I'd say at the top, if this really does end up coming back as a strong fundamentals, is like, you know, $2 top. But you know, because the asset is all the way down here, like don't negate that you could be taking profits this whole way up. You know, it looks all right. I don't know anything about this project, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that the technicals look okay. If I take it from this swing high over here, it shows that we're a little closer to the 2%, but we're double bottoming here. This is a double bottoming structure. All right. Let's look at Crow. I don't know why you guys have been asking so many questions about Crow lately. It's not a problem, but oh, this is why. All right. I'm going to get off this 1 hour chart. Let me get back up. All right, this is a parabola. Let's see. This market's very new. Looks like Crow USD. All right, that's a little better. Oops. Honestly, let's take it from this swing high to this swing low over here and see how it looks. Yeah, this was a nice rejection here off this 2.618. All right, Crow looks like it's going to top out between 80 and 89 cents. Looks like a good area to start taking some profits. Don't get greedy with this one. ICE. On Bitfinex. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. I like to see a little retrace. So we're actually going to take it because this retrace has been really nice here. I'm going to take it from this swing high to this swing low. So this is a good trade, actually. I don't know what this project is, but really good trade. This is more of my jam right here. So we're kind of consolidating around 28 bucks. This could be a really explosive top. It has extended tremendously though. August, it was $1.27. Be careful with this one. I don't know any fundamentals on this project, so make sure you do some good research. Let's take a look and see. Swing low over here. Yep. We could get out there. Be careful with this one. It's kind of like Solana. Like I like Solana because it's so fundamental, but the 5 waves are telling me it's almost over. Poke USD. All right. Some KuCoin. All right. Let's jump out to like to 1 day. Okay. All right. Actually, like this looks pretty okay. Big cup and handle here. All right, take this from the swing high to the swing low. We're like right under the 382. Very nice entry opportunity. Maybe set a limit around 70 cents just in case the markets turn over on themselves, but this is a bull flag. Yeah, this looks good. I would say that this also could top out. I would start taking profits, you know, on the way up, like in this whole area right here from all these extensions. These are all targets, right? This 1.27. So like $4, $5, $7, and then like, you know, a moonshot 10 to 11. So from current market price, what is that, like almost a 10x? Yep. Nice find. I don't know what Polka is, but I like the technicals on it. You cover this. What do you suggest for a time frame when drawing fibs? That's a good question, Marcos. Again, it's going to depend on what piece of price action you're looking at. You need to look at what's available. If it's a newer asset, you're going to have less options. Excuse me. But if you have a lot of price action and you're looking for a short-term trade, you can select a smaller piece of price action. But, you want to try to capture the macro fib that fits well, where price is respecting or rejecting certain areas, and that'll tell you if it's a good Fibonacci. Okay. What are we on to next? VGX. I don't know if this is more history on Binance or KuCoin. Let's see. VGX. Let's look at Binance. Okay, Binance has more. Nice. So that's another thing too, guys. Make sure if these are new coins, make sure you're looking to see which exchange has the most price action so that you can get the most accurate answer. So I'm going to ignore this little scam wick over here just for the initial, and we're going to see what it looks like. Swing high to swing low. So swing high, swing low. That looks pretty good. Let's see what happens if we pull it down to the bottom this wick out of curiosity. That looks pretty good too, actually. So what does this top give us? 21 bucks there. If I pull up to the swing high, I would say I'd rather use this swing low because, it's a little bit more, it's more in confluence with price action. So, I mean, I don't know about any of the fundamentals on this project, but just the technicals are telling us that we're on the 50% Fibonacci, which is a great entry zone. We're probably creating a bull flag right here. So maybe like a 300% move. Looks good. Nice find. Yeah, 40K Crow. Stake for 6 months. Nice. All right, cool, Josh. Sounds like you found a good gem. All right, we've got KDA on here. Okay. So KDA, we actually covered this on a different stream. This is straight parabolic, right? There's a ghost wick that goes up to 89 bucks on KDA, but it may or may not get filled. That's like a 400% move up there. But the 4.236 tells us that we should take profits around $30 to $34. Okay. Awesome, Josh. Glad this is helpful. Chris, glad this is helpful. All right, let's pull up Ecomi. Did I type that crap? AECOM, no N. Okay. All right, this is a really exotic coin. Probably PancakeSwap has the best. Ouch. It's not a chart. Oh, it's a wrapped BNB. That's what it was. What the heck was that? ECOMI. Perfect. There we go. I had a feeling that you didn't pull up a fake coin. Okay, we've extended pretty heavily from its lows in August. We're up, 233%. So if I were to grab from the most recent swing high to the swing low, it would say that we're somewhere between the 382 and 50% Fibonacci, which is a pretty good entry zone. And it says that the exits should be somewhere between, just under 2 cents, 1.5 to 2 cents. And then in percentage, that would be like 166%. That's a nice swing trade. I think that there's more opportunity out there, but I don't think this is a bad trade. I would treat it more as a trade than a long-term hold, but I don't know anything about the fundamentals. So OMI USD. All right, another exotic. Did I already pull that one up? Oh, okay, you got the symbol right there. This is gold, feeling more confident. Awesome, glad. Veracity. Let's pull up Veracity. VRA. I could have sworn I have VRA here. Yeah, because I update the technicals every day on this. By the way, I didn't update the technicals intentionally because I wanted to go over some stuff with you guys today. So Veracity, we went ahead and grabbed swing high to swing low here. I'll go ahead and draw this again for you guys one more time. Swing high, swing low. So we can see we rejected from the 1.618 here at right around, just under 9 cents. We came back to retest the all-time high. So current market price all the way out to 4.236 is roughly 270%. Take profits anywhere between 18 and 21 cents. Okay. Mana. All right. We did cover Mana actually on a different episode, but let's go ahead and pull it up here. So we can see that from swing high to swing low. I'm just going to keep drawing them for you guys because I want you guys to see it's just practice with these. They're so freaking easy once you get practiced with them. And you got to draw them correctly too because you'll screw yourself. So swing high to swing low. We can see that this is obviously super parabolic, right? So how much did this rise already from this area? 450%. Okay. Remember, we're looking for assets that are low, below the retracement levels. We're already in the extensions up here. So we're retesting on top of the 2.618, right around $3.64. Do you guys see how it respects this though? Do you guys see how it respects these levels and rejects from them? Okay, it's not just us deciding that Fibonacci's are, a great tool. You can draw them yourself and you can see that they're going to respect them, and you can draw them here. These are going to produce no matter if this price is here or not. So if I had drawn from this swing high to this swing low and price was anywhere in this area, it wouldn't have mattered. It still would have shown me these same levels. Okay, so Mana, I think that a local top is going to come where between $5 and $6. UFO USD. All right, that's popping up for me. USDT. All right, I don't see that one, my buddy. We're gonna have to come back to that one later. The red line 1 represents looking at the chart once you set the high. Yeah, so the red is the swing high and the blue is the swing low. All right, let's go ahead and pull up ALU USD. That one's also not here. USDT. Nope. If you guys know the a different ticker or something that I can find these with, let me know. I hate not being able to pull up the chart that you guys want. All right. Let's do EOS really quick. I think I already did EOS for you guys, but EOS is one of those that's like well below its retracement levels right now. So if I'm gonna get rid of this little price tab here. So if I grab from the swing high all the way to the swing low, it shows us that we're just underneath the 20% Fibonacci. Again, for you guys didn't see my breakdown and why I entered this trade. This has been consolidating for 170 days. It's gonna pop. I think we're gonna get out here. I'm gonna sell a whole bunch between 33 and 45 and hold some to 52. That's what I'm gonna do with EOS. All right, UNFI. All right, we got this on Binance. Very nice. Look at you. All right, we're going to grab it from this swing high right here to the swing low over here. This is exactly like the EOS setup that I just showed you, right? Long consolidation, 180 days of consolidation below the 20% Fibonacci. This could really get out there. Let's see what the percentage is. I'm just very curious. Excuse me. Wow. Yeah, that'd be like a 14 or 15x. But obviously take profits on the way up if you're already in this. Let's see. What else we got here? Engine. All right, so I've already got the swing high, swing low on engine here. So it's this one right here. Guys got to be really, really careful with these parabolic projects. So I pulled it from this high right here, and it shows that we're testing on top of the 1.27, right on $3.42. And it shows that the 4.236 is somewhere around $10 up here. So this is like a 3x trade. 180%. ICX, we'll do that one really quick. Again, guys, it's not financial advice. I have not done fundamental research on 90% of the projects you guys have brought here today. So, just take this with from a technical perspective. So we're going to go swing high, swing low. Shows us that we're right around the 618 right now. This is a good entry area. And it shows us that the exits are, anywhere, the top exits, right? So when I say exits, it doesn't mean don't use these other targets to start lightening up, right? Sell 10%, sell 10%, sell 30%, sell 30%, right? Layer out. But the top could come over being, $9 and $11. Okay. UFO is a gaming token. Okay, cool. Yeah, Brian actually talked about UFO, but I can't find it on the charts. Where are the settings to get your lines coming out of your crosshair? So if you go to the left side here, click cross. It'll automatically put them there for you. Okay. BLZZ. Not coming up, my man. ING. Okay. ING USD. Let's put up on Gemini. Nice. All right, let's take it from this swing high, this swing low. Firing up off the 382 Fibonacci here. So one of the lower Fibonacci's, but definitely not 20%, much nicer. Maybe we get out to $41, $47, but let's go ahead and take it from the other swing high. So let's take it from the absolute swing high to the other swing low. So I'm talking about, like, try it out, you guys, see what it looks like. And it obviously pulls us out much further. I think I would much rather you guys use this other swing high and this other swing low. So do you guys see why I picked this high right here and this low right here? And it shows us that a top could come in maybe around $41 to $47. Okay. We're gonna do one. All right. We're gonna finish up these last three in the chat, and then I think we're gonna close up for the day. We've been here for almost an hour and a half. Oh, this is Harmony. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna grab from the swing high here to the swing low. And it shows us that we've reached out past the 1.618. So I think that one Harmony could come out, 68 to 78 cents. It's wrapped Ethereum. Okay, cool. All right, let's do curate. Most recent swing high to the swing low. So we're basically breaking back above it right now. We're kind of creating this inverse head and shoulder structure. So, we can come back up to the all-time high. It's suggesting that we can come and fill this wick right here. In fact, look at the Fibonacci's, what they're telling us. It's telling us that right here at the 4.236 is where this high was. So I think 16 bucks is likely. Let's UFO wrapped F. Boom, Uniswap. Ouch. I do not like this chart. Oops. Yeah, we just broke the 4.236 from swing high to swing low from this, at least this percentage here. I know that UFO and some of these gaming tokens are probably going to run much, much higher, but if you're already in profits, consider taking some profits. Hey Chris, we just did Mana, but this will be posted up shortly. Where do you start with UFO? Right. Yeah, it's I started right here at this swing high, and I came down to this swing low. If I start at this swing high and come down to this swing low, it's gonna say that we've already exceeded it. So it looks like we're sitting right here, the swing high. All right, cool. OPCT. All right, this is the last one we're doing, guys. OPTC. Entries under the 20% Fibonacci. Yes. So Randy, first of all, you need to make sure that you fundamentally agree with the project, right? I'm not saying enter everything that's under the 20% Fibonacci, but if you have something that made a high earlier this year and now it's been consolidating underneath the 20% Fibonacci for an extended period of time, 150 days, 200 days, 250 days, it's likely that that asset will explode and push past that other all-time high. So let's do this last one really quickly here. We're going to go from this swing high to this swing low. Shows us that we almost tapped this 3.618 up here, and that the top is coming in soon, somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 cents. Okay, if we come and pull this over here, it suggests much, much higher. It says that we could reach out to $1.50, but I'm using this swing high over here and this swing low. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. This is what I love to do. I'd love to do this more often with you guys and kind of create a little bit of a VIP experience. We can do some questions and answers like this, show you guys some, different things that you can add to your charts. This is just one tool that you can use. I don't just use Fibonacci's when I'm looking for entries. I also use market structures like M's and W's and, support and resistance that I hand draw in between some of these Fibonacci's. And, there's a variety of other tools that I use. So make sure you guys head to the Learning Center. Let me show you guys really quickly. I made most of this Learning Center myself here. At least as far as the non-fundamental stuff. Brian absolutely killed it when it came to the fundamental stuff. But if you come to the Learning Center, this technical analysis section, everything's here for you guys, okay? Intro to candlesticks, moving averages. I personally use them on my chart, but I know they're super helpful. We've got support and resistance right here. Fibonacci's right here. So if you guys want to learn this again, you guys want to go back through it, it's right there. M's and W's, head and shoulders. This is all stuff I use in my trading. So make sure you guys head to the Learning Center and you make sure you use and abuse this Learning Center section. If you guys see like a certain technical thing that you feel like you could use more on, let me know. I'll create a video for you guys and add it here. And I really appreciate you guys. So thank you guys so much for coming today. We are Crypto Charged, and we will continue to help you supercharge your crypto portfolio.